How to Woo Your Lady in 9 Easy Steps. Chapter 7, Step 6. After Step 5, your mare is likely on edge and in need of a serious surge of your affection. This is where Step 6 comes in. Stallions, it's time to breathe a sigh of relief. You made it through the most grueling of the 9 steps. You're just one step away from officially beginning romantic involvement. The part of the 9 steps I know each and every one of you has been looking for. In Step 6, instead of ignoring your mare, you'll bring together everything you have practiced from the first 4 steps. This time, there are no restraints. In fact, the rule of Step 6 is to spend as much time with your mare as possible. While you're spending time together, follow the code of the gentlecolt for Step 1. Remember the importance of friendships for Steps 2 and 3. And finally, continue to do kind things for your mare, as you learn in Step 4. All this taken together will be sure to put you on the road to her heart. It's most important to stress in this step, you should not initiate anything overly romantic yet. You are permitted to do so if your mare chooses to begin pursuing romantic affections with you first. Follow her lead to be sure you are not pushing her into things. If your mare does not begin such affections in this step, never fear. There are 3 more steps which will bring you two closer together. In fact, most mares will not initiate romance on their own. Do not take it as a sign of her disinterest. Step 6 is not necessarily about such affections after all. This step is simply about bringing the two of you together to enjoy each other's company for as long as both of you wish. The day was over. Spike could hardly believe it. No more Step 5. He could move on to Step 6. The step that sounded like the best one of them all. Spike let out a giddy sort of laugh, climbing into bed. I don't know what you're laughing about, Twilight said from across the room. Candlelight flickered on her face, while Spike could fairly see over the rim of the book she was reading. I'm not sure you deserve to laugh about anything after the way you treated Rarity today. Spike's smile fell off his face. That just wasn't fair. Twilight, you know I had to do it. The book said so. Besides, now I can move on to the next step, which is way nicer, Spike said, twiddling his thumbstick air. Uh-huh. Twilight replied, unimpressed. Spike didn't blame her. He wasn't all that impressed with himself at the moment either. Rarity will see how sorry I am, Spike continued out loud, more for himself than for Twilight. Step 6 is really nice, and it's not like I did that good of a job with Step 5 anyway. Rarity probably didn't even notice. Oh, she noticed, Twilight said, her nose still in the book. She did? Spike asked, a flip of excitement going through his stomach, immediately followed by a spasm of panic. His innocence couldn't make up in her mind whether to be happy that Step 5 may have worked, or terrified that Rarity might say, thinking he hated her. Yep. Twilight answered. She turned a page in her book and said nothing else. Spike sat in his bed, accidentally tracing a finger along the spine of How to Woo Your Lady in 9 Easy Steps. There was then silence in the room. So, Rarity noticed Step 5? Is she mad about it? Does she care at all? Is she sad? Said that I ignored her so much? Spike's lip twitched to black unpleasantly. He didn't want to hurt Rarity, but the book said, "Let's down the cover of How to Woo Your Lady in 9 Easy Steps." There, on the front, Smooth Fox smiled up at him gallantly, a beautiful mare on his hoof, and a huge large head surrounding them both. Spike tried to picture himself in Smooth Fox's place, and Rarity in place of the mare. But book cover Rarity wouldn't stop sobbing, and Spike had to push the book under Twilight's bed as fast as he could. He felt sick. Okay, so Step 5 wasn't too nice, Spike admitted. You knew that going in, but Step 6 will make it better, won't it? Twilight flipped to another page in her book. The sound of it scraping against the page below, a girlie to turn on only how quiet it had gotten in the room. Spike slowly lowered himself down, pulled his blanket over his head. Won't it? Something about going to bed in a cold rage somehow made it extraordinarily easy to fall into a deep sleep, also quite easily to wake up in the morning. Rarity moved through her morning tasks calmly. She greeted her clients politely, picking up those who had come to pick up their clothes and jotting down new orders. In between clients, she put her defensive trusses on several dresses, bringing a shutdown to everything outside the necessities. Food, water, work. It was remarkable how productive one could be when in such a state. Yesterday had been a slap in the face. Shock had numbed Rarity to the core of her being.
She was okay with this. Life was simpler this way. She felt she could survive indefinitely on the cool center of her heart as it stormed along seeking vengeance. Her life would not come to a standstill because of the Boris actions of a baby dragon. She would show him how little she cared. Welcome to Carousel Boutique, Rarity said, turning at the sound of the shop door opening. How may I be of... The rest of her sentence hung in her mouth, refusing to leave it. Spike stood in her doorway, smiling hopefully. Hi, Rarity, Spike said, his hands crossed behind him. Rarity stared, unable to close her mouth. The ice crystals inside her immediately began to flake away. She could feel the emotions escaping back into her veins and droves. He just looked so innocent. How does he do that? Rarity screamed eternally. He's not innocent. He's a no-good, fed-hunting junk. She slammed her mouth shut, clenched her jaw, twirling dramatically away from Spike. Rarity? Spike asked, stepping into the boutique. Are you all right? All right! Rarity wanted to shriek. Just how am I supposed to be all right? But she held her tongue, desperately trying to hold on to the last bits of calm from the morning. Spike took a step closer. Rarity glanced at her shoulder over at him, narrowing her eyes. So, yeah, he began cautiously. I just wanted to step in and say hi. And to say sorry for not spending time with you yesterday when you asked. See if there's anything you want to help with today. Rarity turned back to Spike and blinked. You're apologizing, she asked once she managed to find her voice. Spike nodded. Yeah. For not spending time with me yesterday, Rarity clarified. She noticed her voice was higher than usual, more tense. She frowned. There wasn't anything she could do about it. Yes, Spike nodded some more. Rarity took a deep breath, held her head up high. She just had enough of her ice shield left, and she needed to use it quickly, before it disappeared and her emotions poured out of her. She stared pointedly at Spike. Well, why don't you come back when you wish to apologize for more than just that? More? Spike's eyes was asked, eyes widening. Yes, more. She spun and walked away, leaving Spike at the front of the shop. After a moment, she heard the door close, and he had left. The steel came crashing down. Spike wandered back outside Rarity's boutique, at a loss as to what to do. It was obvious Rarity was angry. But what else did she want an apology for? Had he done something wrong other than ignoring her yesterday? Why can't she just tell me what's bothering her? Spike groaned, burying his face in his hand. Smooth Fox, what am I supposed to do now? There you are. Spike looked up to see Twilight walking up the road towards him. I've been looking everywhere for you. Spike kicked at the ground. Sorry, he mumbled. Let me guess. You were at Rarity's? Twilight said, stopping in front of Spike and raising a knowing eyebrow. Spike crossed his arms and glared up at his sister. So what if I was? What do you care? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because you forgot all about your chores for the library today? Maybe because I'm sure you're trying out the newest step of that awful book you were reading. Twilight glared back innocently. It's not an awful book, Spike argued. It almost made Rarity cry yesterday, Twilight retorted. I think that qualifies as awful. It did? Spike sucked in a breath. I didn't know that. What did you think it would do to her? Twilight rolled her eyes. Make her all happy that her good friends started treating her terribly? Spike glanced around, suddenly conscious they were having this argument on the side of a busy Ponyville street. Maybe we should get back to the library, or maybe you should go apologize to Rarity, Twilight suggested loudly. Several passers-by glanced over at them, and Spike flushed. I tried to, Spike admitted, keeping his voice low so onlookers could hear. But she said I had to apologize for more. More? Twilight asked. Wait, what exactly did you apologize for? For ignoring her at the fair? Spike sighed. I don't know what else he could be upset, though. Twilight was quiet for a moment. Well, she shuffled one hoof awkwardly. Maybe she wants to say you're sorry for purposely treating her bad as part of your bigger scheme to mess with her head until she likes you. My scheme? Spike furrowed his brow. He didn't like that phrasing. But if I do that, then she'll know what I've been up to. Twilight coughed. She might have already guessed. Part of it, at least. Spike's heart sunk straight to the dirt world beneath his feet. She did? How? I might have talked to her yesterday. Twilight! Spike gasped, horror following him. You told her about the book? Ponies were definitely staring now.
but Spike couldn't even care. How could Twilight do this to me? Because that step was really, really stupid, and Twilight has every single right to care about her friend just as much as she cares about her brother, and she doesn't want to see the two ponies close to her hurting each other, and you were purposely hurting her, and that Twilight realized how stupid it was, how stupid this step was, and Twilight's trying to be some sense into you, and she doesn't want to see Rarity go further and further into depression. That's a thought. No! Twilight said quickly, shaking her head so fast that the colors in her mane blurred together. No, of course not. I just sort of implied you were following some steps or something, and you were treating her poorly because of it. Twilight! Spike felt tears coming to his eyes. Why would you say something like that? Because I felt Rarity deserved at least to hear some version of the truth. I'm with Twilight. But no, the book, all my steps, it'll be for nothing, Spike moaned. Well, all the better anyway, Twilight said. It's a dumb book. It didn't deserve to be published, much less read by an irresponsible dragon like yourself. But how else will I ever read Rarity? Spike, Twilight sighed. Her voice was quiet but firm. Rarity doesn't like you the same way you like her. Spike's heart, already on the ground, completely up and quit. I hate to break it to you. Trust me, I really do. Twilight's eyes shimmered with apologies. But this isn't just gonna work. And that book isn't helping anything. It's really for the best you move on. I'm sorry, Spike. Spike couldn't hear anymore. He ran. Rarity dabbed a handkerchief to her eyes, taking a deep breath to try and collect herself before going to Fluttershy's. More than anything, she needed an afternoon at the spa. Her brain was running circles around her heart. Rarity knew that only a good mud bath and sauna would relax her enough for all of her organs to sit still in their proper places. Once her eyes looked less bloodshot, Rarity walked to Fluttershy's cottage. Fluttershy, dear that she was, agreed to drop everything the moment Rarity came knocking on her door. They headed back into Ponyville together.
Is everything all right, Rarity?
Fluttershy asked carefully, peering out from behind her mane. Rarity let out a tiny sigh. She couldn't talk to Fluttershy. Who could she talk to?
No,
Rarity admitted, hanging her head. Everything is not all right.
I didn't think so.
Fluttershy answered quietly.
Is there anything I can do?
Rarity smiled at her friend.
Oh, darling,
You're already doing something. Thank you for agreeing me to come to such a spa on such notice.
Oh, it's no problem at all, really.
Fluttershy replied. They walked along in mutual silence until reaching the spa. Lois and Aloe greeted them.
Are they useful?
Lois asked knowingly. Rarity nodded.
The useful.
She hoped her voice sounded useful. If it didn't, neither Lois or Aloe said anything about it. Instead, he just led them to the sauna. Fluttershy sat down on the bench next to Rarity.
Bless your heart. Fluttershy can be so patient.
Rarity knew if her situation had been flipped, she'd be a wreck trying to guess at what could be bothering her friend. But Fluttershy just sat quietly, watching Rarity as the steam directed over them.
All right, I'll tell you what's going on,
Rarity said.
Oh, no. You don't have to if you don't want to.
Fluttershy replied.
Please, don't feel pressure to tell me anything. Fluttershy,
Rarity interrupted gently.
You're my best friend and you deserve to know.
Rarity began to explain the events of the past several days. Is Pinkie Pie here? Spike asked, slamming the door open in the Sugar corner. Mrs. King glanced up in surprise from behind the counter.
Where's little Spike?
Hi, Spike replied quickly. He started to repeat his question. Is Pinkie Pie
Here? Yes.
Mrs. King smiled.
She's in the kitchen. You're welcome to go and see her.
Thank you, Spike said, dancing past the countertop and pushing open the doors to the kitchen. Pinkie Pie wasn't hard to spot. Her pony was smack dab in the middle of the kitchen spinning circles, two long strands of gel trailing her and getting longer by the moment. She spun faster and faster until she came to a sudden halt, throwing the two strands up and allowing them to twist around each other. Spike stared, impressed. So that's how you make Super Cute Corner's famous cinnamon twist.
Piggy giggled. That's how I make Super Cute Corner's famous cinnamon twist. Mr. and Mrs. Cake do things a little differently. She shrugged. I think everything tastes better with one of its ingredients. It's fun, though. Don't you?
Spike watched as Pinkie snatched the far end of the now combined dough strands, twisted around each other to make a double twirl. She tossed up a bag of cinnamon sugar into the air, then leapt up after it, slam dunking the dough in before the bag hit the counter. She then grabbed the bag and shaking it at impossible speed.
Spike could feel his eyes start to wobble in their sockets as he tried to follow along. He shook his head quickly to bring himself out of it.
So, Pinkie Pie,
Spike started. I wanted to come see you because...
Oh, I never asked you what you're here for, Pinkie gasped.
She slammed her back down on the counter and skidded over to Spike's side.
Is there something you need?
Yeah. Spike looked over his shoulder. Made sure the door was closed behind him before continuing. Do you remember what we were talking about yesterday? About Rarity?
Sure do.
Pinkie gave Spike a giant wink. Yeah. Taking steps forward, Pinkie Pie winked down knowingly. It was more than a little awkward. Carried on in a hurry. So, I think I do need your help. Like, now. You said you help, right?
Of course. Pinkie hopped up and down a couple times. This is gonna be great.
Spike swallowed. I don't really know what to do about that. His eyes were downcast, remembering Rarity's coldness from earlier today. Then what Twilight said.
So, what do you need help with?
Pinkie asked, breaking Spike's train of thought. Spike took a deep breath. Here goes. Let's see, I'm on step 6 of my book. I'm supposed to spend time with Rarity in step 6. You're right nice to her and stuff. Make up for ignoring her in step 5.
I bet he just leapt over the concession booth just to hide from me,
Rarity fumed.
Oh, my,
Flasheye said. She sounded appropriately appalled, though Rarity couldn't see her expression, since her eyes were currently covered by cucumber slightness.
I knew,
Rarity patted.
First he blows me off to work with Applejack. Then he sends me off on mixed signals with the whole flower thing. Then, when I see him next, acts like I'm the least important pony in the world, and then hides from me. Oh dear, doesn't sound like Spike at all,
Firefly said. Rarity crossed her hooves, leaning back in her spa chair, to allow for Olive to wrap her mane up.
No, it doesn't. And I haven't even told you the worst part yet. It gets worse?
Rarity asked nervously.
Yes, it does. You better believe it.
Rarity squeezed her eyes tight behind her cucumber shields.
Now tell us at the spot, Rarity. That little... I found out from Twilight later on that Spike was doing it all on purpose. He knew his actions were hurting me, and he was doing it on purpose.
Then she kicked me out of her shop and told me to think about what else I needed to apologize for. Spike frowned. She didn't even care that I already said I was sorry.
What?
Pinkie Pie slammed a hoof down on the counter. A cloud of flour fluffed between them.
If you say you were sorry, then teach us that being fair.
I know! Spike flung his arms out emphatically, through selling flour. But she just stormed off on me!
Pinkie Pie scrunched up her face. Well, that wasn't very nice of her. She didn't even give you a chance. She completely stubbed you down before you could even try step 6.
Exactly! Spike agreed from across the counter. Finally, somebody understands. Twilight said I shouldn't even bother with any step. She says Rarity only likes me as a friend.
And how does Twilight know, huh? Pinkie asked.
Beats me. Spike shrugged. Then he blinked. Beats me? Yeah. Twilight doesn't know what she's talking about. How can I trust the word of some pony who ran me after Rarity anyway? Like I care what Twilight thinks. Spike began pacing. Did you know she actually told Rarity that I was up to something? She told Rarity I was trying to hurt her on purpose!
Did Twilight make a Pinkie promise?
Pinkie leapt on the counter, hunting down, pawing at surface, nostrils flaring. No! Spike said quickly, stopping his tracks and turning back to Pinkie before she got any ideas. No, she didn't break a Pinkie promise. He's mad at Twilight, but not mad enough to see Pinkie go after her. She just told Rarity, well, I guess she basically told her the truth. I was trying to get Rarity to feel some sort of emotion for me, any sort. I didn't want to hurt her. Well, maybe I ended up hurting her by ignoring her. Spike trotted off. He didn't like where his own logic was taking him. Pinkie set her run down the counter, tapping one hoof to her chin.
So now to figure out how to fix all this.
Spike sighed. Yeah. Pinkie blindly looked down at Spike and tilted her head.
Hey, Mr. Frowny Face,
she said, prodding Spike on the nose with a hoof.
Don't you worry. Your Auntie Pinkie Pie's gonna make this all better.
Pinkie Pie smiled from her seat on the counter. Spike had to admit, in that moment, he did actually feel a bit better about everything.
It was any consolation. Spike didn't seem too happy yesterday either.
As I said, for the next tub over. Rarity let the mud seep around her, all the way up to her neckline. Spike was unhappy.
How so?
She asked, unable to hold back her curiosity.
Well, he was hiding it well, but I could tell he wasn't the pony that he really wanted to be walking around with.
Fireside said. Rarity frowned. She wished she didn't have the cucumber slices on her eyes for a moment. so she could check on her friend's expression, make sure the Pegasus wasn't feeling hurt at all by that.
Just like you ran the fair. Really nervous. Dragged his feet on for most of the morning.
Rarity sank a little bit lower into the mud, till it reached her chin.
She couldn't just be misreading Spike, could she?
Rarity found it difficult to believe. Firesight was fantastic with ponies and animals alike, nearly because she was so patient, understanding, and observant of their emotions.
Well, if his ox's were making him upset, then he really shouldn't have been treating me the way he was.
Rarity finally harumphed.
I just don't know what he was thinking. Neither do I, Firesight admitted. You can always ask him. Ask him.
Rarity snored. The wrinkled nose, a bit of mud had gotten stuck all up into it.
Or not.
Firesight added.
It's up to you.
Rarity wanted to rub her nose, but her hose were covered in mud themselves.
I just don't know. Some company Spike has been treating me like this on purpose, trying to hurt me. I just know.
He needs to apologize, and that's all there is to it.
Okay then.
Firesight sighed.
Okay, Spike. Repeat the plan.
I go back to Rarity's, Spike said.
Check.
I apologize again, more clearly.
Check.
Rarity accepts and everything is better, and I can try to sell step 6.
Check, check, and check.
Pinky grinned.
You got this, Spike.
I do. I got this. I got this, Spike repeated.
They walked down the street towards Rarity's boutique.
Well, thank you for accompanying me today, Firesight, Rarity said. I feel a great deal better now.
The two friends left the spa together, walking back towards Rarity's for tea.
I'm glad I could help,
Firesight said.
But I'm certain relaxation in the afternoon at the spa is a much bigger part of why you're feeling better. Don't be silly, Firesight,
Rarity replied. Talking with you has been a great help, believe me. Firesight smiled at Rarity. After all, Rarity continued, as they rounded towards the bend towards the shop. If you hadn't been there to listen, then I wouldn't have... She stopped there in her tracks. Straight ahead, standing and knocking at her shop's door, was Spike and Pinkie Pie. A million thoughts burst into Rarity's head, spinning around in a whirlpool, each one demanding her attention before the next took their stage.
Spike? How dare he come back, that little... What do we here to apologize like you ask?
It doesn't matter. I never want to speak to him again.
But how could I live with myself if our friendship ends on such a dreadful note? Well, then he shouldn't have treated me like he did. But as I said, he was sad.
She bit down her little lip. Who was refusing to carry her any further?
Rarity?
Firesight asked carefully.
Should we go and say hello?
She gestured towards Spike and Pinkie, who hadn't yet caught sight of them. Rarity didn't dare open her mouth to respond, for fear of what might come out of it. The sensible thing would be to go and see what the dragon had to say. But Rarity's life hadn't been all too sensible lately. Her host refused to budge.
Rarity?
Firesight asked again.
Mm-hmm.
Rarity strained a reply through a clenched mouth. Her reaction was embarrassing, but at least she wasn't running. She could be proud of that much.
Perhaps we should. Oh, look, Spike! There she is!
Pinkie Pie shouted. Spike turned in her direction, suddenly Rarity's host could move, backwards. So much for not running.
Rarity?
She just barely heard Firesight ask, as he booked it back into town.
Stop that pony!
Pinkie Pie yelled. Rarity raced even faster, past several surprised ponies who had to dive out of their way. Her host thudded along the roof. Her face turned redder and redder by the second.
Hey, watch it! Oh, excuse me! I do believe y'all in the way.
Excuse me, Rarity. It's okay, Bon Bon. I promise we won't act like that when we're in love.
Excuse Trixie, but you are Trixie's away! What the spectacle you're making yourself?
She tied it early and didn't stop her from running. The park was up ahead. Rarity didn't know exactly what she planned on doing when she raced it, but getting to the park became her new goal. Then, out of nowhere, Pinkie Pie was right in front of her. Rarity, you should know better. You can't outrun the pink one. Rarity collided with the pink pony, sending them both fighting through the air, straight into the park pits.
Oh my! Oh dear! Is every pony okay?
Firesight flew up next to them. Rarity disentangled herself from Pinkie Pie, raising her hoof to her mane to check on it wasn't too mushed.
Yes, I believe so,
Rarity replied.
Well, I'm not okay.
Pinkie Pie shot to her feet. Other opponents in the park cleared out quickly, much to Rarity's relief.
What's that all about him? Running away from me and Spike like that?
Rarity winced, stepping backwards.
I just didn't. Spike came all the way to your shop to apologize. It was the first thing you do, run away. Ha! Some friend you are.
Pinkie Pie walked over and jabbed a hoof on Rarity's chest.
Pinkie.
It's okay. Really. Rarity turned, surprised to see Spike had caught up with him as well. His face was so downcast that Rarity nearly broke down then and there. But no, she wouldn't give in so easily. She was mad at Spike. Rarity, mad.
But Spike, Pinky protested. She was being a rooting McRooterson.
To Rarity's shock, Fluttershy tried over, separating Pinky from Rarity, and frowning at the pink pony.
Pinky, I'm sorry to disagree, but you're making a little bit of an unfair assumption. Rarity was just nervous, that's all.
Pinky didn't back down.
Nervous? Since when does any pony get nervous about being apologized to?
She glared at Fluttershy, and the two ponies became wanting to stare down.
Every pony has things that makes them nervous, Pinky. Rarity's just being chicken. Spike just wants to say he's sorry. As far as I understand it, Spike certainly may have an easy something to apologize for. He should have his chance, but only when Rarity's here to hear it. Ready to hear it? Somebody's being pretty high maintenance, don't you think? She's had a pretty difficult week, Pinky. And Spike has it!
Girls! Spike interjected, leaving in between them. That's enough, please! You know, that somehow got extremely meta, as that probably reflected the audience's perception of this whole scene. That, and how most people who watch romantic comedies react. Not that I wouldn't know anything about romantic comedies. Reggie nodded in agreement.
Fluttershy, Pinky,
Please, don't argue on our behalf. No silence for a few moments, save for the park birds. Fluttershy fitfully hung her head.
Of course, Rarity. Pinky, I'm sorry for any of my strong words just now.
Pinky crinkled.
Oh, Fluttershy, you're forgiven. I'm sorry, too. No pony can stay mad at you.
She gave the yellow Pegasus a hug. Fluttershy hugged her back. As soon as they released each other, Pinky whipped her head around to glare at Rarity. Pinky asked pointedly.
That's the right way to react when some pony apologizes.
Something about Pinky's remark rekindled Rarity's dwindling anger as she sniffed, holding her head up high.
I react whenever way I deem appropriate,
Rarity said coolly,
and it'll always be based on the sincerity and completeness of the apology given.
Guess that's my cue, huh? Spike gave a deep breath and stepped towards the unicorn. Rarity? He began. Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie both backed up, giving him his face. I heard from Twilight that she talked to you yesterday. I told you some things.
You heard right,
Rarity said, turning her loftily expressive away. Spike winced. Okay then, Spike continued, sucking up his courage. So you think I was trying to hurt you yesterday?
I don't think, I know,
Rarity corrected him. Spike clenched his fist aside. Rarity, I didn't mean to hurt you.
That's not what Twilight said.
Forget Twilight. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Twilight knows a lot of things, Spike.
Rarity brushed her one against her chest, pausing it. Spike could sense a growl in his throat. He threw his arms over each other, crossing them tightly to keep his anger in check. Maybe we should have this conversation in private, he eventually said, glancing over at Pinky and Fluttershy.
That sounds like a very good idea.
Fluttershy asked, agreed immediately.
Come on, Pinky, let's... Oh, no, you don't.
Rarity reached out and tugged Fluttershy back to over where she could get far away.
You're sticking with me for this, Fluttershy. Oh, okay then.
Fluttershy replied meekly.
Then I'm sticking with Spike.
Pinkie Pie hopped over to his side. Spike threw his head back. This wasn't going at all as he hoped. Trying here, Rarity. I am. I don't really want to start crying in front of anybody.
So, Spike,
Rarity blinked down.
What were you saying?
Spike undid his arms and let him fall to his side. It's no use. It looked like he had to do this here and now, in front of his friends. This is your plan, Pinky. Rarity can't ignore a real, sincere apology, right? Rarity, I'm sorry. Really sorry. Twilight was right. I was trying to get you to feel something. Anything.
Anything?
Rarity asked. Anything! Spike repeated, his heart thumping in his chest. He just had to get this out. I guess I followed some bad advice or something, because now you're upset with me.
So did I be?
Rarity frowned. She walked towards him, each step more menacing than the one before it.
You purposefully hurt me, Spike. Not just yesterday. For days now. You've been acting all weird and messing with my head and making me think I could actually... I think you just go and blow me off all day.
Days? She's been upset for days? Spike gulped. I suppose Fox believed me wrong this whole time? Were there other steps just as bad? Rarity, I'm sorry, okay? Spike fell to his knees, folding his hands together and pleading for forgiveness. I just don't know what else you want me to say.
I know you're sorry, Spike,
Rarity said. Spike perked up, a quiver of hot plastic through him.
To be honest, I'm not sure what else I want you to say. So, Spike tried to puzzle the words out. I think I want more than an apology. Verity's eyes narrowed. I want to know why you did any of this in the first place! She stared at him expectantly. Spike remained on his knees. She wants me to see why I've been doing all this. Can she guess? Spike's face flushed and eyes stung. Fireside and Pinkie Pie looked on, both incredibly uncomfortable. Oh, Celestia, how could I ever? Please don't make me say it out loud, Rarity. So, are you going to give me an explanation? Rarity asked. Spike looked up at her, eyes watering. As she noticed his tears, they were clearly having no effect. I don't have all day, Spike. Rarity, he repeated hoarsely. The words started to come out. You already know why I was trying to. I thought just some point led me to believe that just. Yes, Rarity demanded, stomping a hoof down on a parked grass next to Spike. The stomp knocked down a tear loose and dropped it down his cheek. Rarity, I did it because I thought it might make you feel the same way about me as I do about you. Spike trembled. To the side, he could see Fireside take a concerned step towards him. Pinkie Pie putting a hoof out to stop her. Some part of his brain registered he just admitted to liking Rarity in front of Fluttershy, and add one more pony to the list of ponies who knew about his crush. But the most important pony who knew was currently standing over him, lips taut as an eye started down at him like two perfect sapphires, cold, shimmering, and completely unattainable. Rarity said nothing. Spike brushed a tear off his cheek. It was in deep now. Might as well keep going. Rarity, I care about you more than anything, Spike sniffled. Wrong. Whatever Spike had been expecting as a response, it wasn't that. He glanced back up at Rarity, his eyes swimming confused. Wrong? The white unicorn backed away from him. If you truly cared about me more than anything, you wouldn't have ever let somebody talk to you into hurting me. With that, she turned and raced away. This time Spike let her run. Spike, are you alright? Fireside took a step towards him. Once Rarity had completely fled the park. We're here for you, buddy. Pinkie Pie bounced over, noticing him when he didn't respond. You hear me? Rarity's airs echoed throughout his skull. If you truly cared about me. I'm sorry, Pinkie. Fluttershy. He looked up to the poo ponies hovering over him. I have to go. Before they could respond, Spike took off running towards the library. That's it, Smooth Fox. You won't get to hurt Rarity any longer. He flung the library door open. Twilight greeted gruffly. Well, look who decided to come home, she snored. As he sighed him, her attitude changed. Spike? She frowned. Is everything okay? Nothing now, Twilight. Spike brushed her off, darting up the stairs. He had to get to the bedroom. He left the book under Twilight's bed last night. I could burn it. It'd be easy. His eyes glared at the thought using his dragon breath to destroy the thing. But he felt a little sick to his stomach at the idea of purposely burning a book, even if it deserted it. No, he couldn't burn it. Twilight would kill him. Besides, burning it won't do any good. Spike hated to admit, but he basically had the thing memorized already. Burning it wouldn't erase his memories. Reaching the bedroom, he crawled around under the bed till his fingers came in contact with the edge of the book. He yanked out and stared. There was only one thing he could do about it. Twilight? He called. His sister quickly dashed up the stairs. Yes, she answered, slightly out of breath. Shelf this, and don't tell me where. Spike tossed the book at her. Twilight caught how to woo your lady in 90 steps of romantic, slowly levitated towards herself. You sure about this? She asked. Spike nodded. Yeah. Her shoulders slumped. If you truly cared about me, I don't ever want to see that book again. I'm kind of with Rarity on this, Spike. You see, the book kind of was working on the assumption that you weren't friends with her already. You were working under that assumption. That book didn't realize that you already had steps 1 through 4 completed. And step 5 is completely unnecessary. All you needed to do was go straight to step 6. Come back tomorrow, guys. Come back next week, guys.